Hello and welcome back. It's me, Measley, and in this episode we're going to talk about extension tubes and why you should get them, especially if you are a beginner. Hello, once again. Yes, thank you guys for joining. It's me, Measley. I appreciate anyone that stops out and checks these videos out. I love y'all. I'm going to say that now, and then we're going to dive into it. Today we're talking about extension tubes. I bought this set on Amazon. It's Mic Nova? I don't know. It's EF mount. I'm going to use it for my Canon, and let's jump right into it. So an extension tube. What is an extension tube? Why do you need it? Why should you get one? An extension tube really is just a little piece of plastic with the same mounts as your lens. So there's 3 of them in here, right? And as you can see, same EF mount that would go on your normal lens. And then there's 3 of them. There's a little tab. You can actually pull these apart. Yeah, so there's 3 of them. I got a 36, a 20, and a 12, and I do not recommend buying Canon's version or a brand name version. They all work the same. 20 bucks, right? And stay tuned to the end. I'm going to show you guys some pictures that I took straight out of camera. Boom, 2 photos, one without the extension tube, one with the extension tube, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so you may ask, how does it work? So it works by creating that gap between the body and the camera lens, thus adjusting the focal point of the lens. So my 24-105, I can't get very close to anything. I can't do hardly any macro stuff with it, and it drives me crazy because I love macro. So, sorry. So I bought these extension tubes to try it out. Now, one trade-off is the depth of field gets very shallow when you start really getting in there with the extension tubes, so just keep that in mind. I would recommend this for beginners compared to buying like a macro lens. The macro lens that I wanted was $1,300 from Canon. No way. I'm going to use these guys, shoot as much as I can with them, keep putting photos on the Instagram that I use with these because I love macro photography. And if you like macro photography, I suggest you pick these up. I will put a link in the description to these exact ones if you have an EF mount camera. Now, there is another drawback. An actual macro lens, you don't have to be as close to your subject. If I'm out there shooting a bee, right? I want a macro shot of a bee. You know, the closer you get to that bee, the more he's going to go. He's taking off. He wants no part of you. So that's the trade-off, is you actually have to get closer with the extension tubes, unlike the actual macro lens. I cannot talk today. I'm sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up some photos, and then we are going to talk about each one and the settings that they were at. I took all of these photos with a 24-105 lens. Love that. And it was set at 105 millimeters the whole time on every photo. So let's get that straight. So the first set I took with a 36 millimeter extension tube. So that is just this guy by itself, 36 millimeter, right? And I was at a 1/13 shutter speed. I was in an f5.6 and an ISO of 640. So the first photo you can see is definitely a lot farther back. And then you see the new photo, bang, super close. I'll let you guys do a comparison to see which one you like more. That's the first set that we did with the 36 millimeter extension tube. Okay, so the second set of photos that I took, once again, 24-105 was set at 105, and it was a 20 millimeter extension tube we did this time, and my shutter speed was 1/50. My aperture was f5.6 with an ISO of 640. So that was both photos. I wanted to keep everything as close as possible so you guys could really see the difference. Now that was just with the 20 millimeter extension tube by itself. And you can see definitely not as close In the first photo, that's just natural. In the second photo, we got a lot closer, but not as close as the 36. So now you can see this last set of photos. I actually took the 36, which is the large extension tube that I got, and I combined it with the 12 millimeter to make a very large one. 48. 48's what it would have been. Just letting you guys know. Math, right? Yeah, math. Huh. Okay, so I combined those two. So the first one was at 105 millimeters, you know, standard. It was at 1/100 shutter speed, f5.6, ISO 400. And as you can see in the first photo, pretty standard to what you've seen in the other photos for how close you can get and the detail. And then the second photo, we're like way up in there. It's insane. So what I'm getting at, if you're a beginner, especially one that doesn't want to shell out a bunch of gear or trying to figure out which type of photography they really want to get into, I would recommend buying these extension tubes because it'll save you a lot of money. So say you buy a macro lens and then you get down the road and you're like, well, I don't really like to do macro photography anymore. It's kind of a bummer, right? So I suggest to get these, 20 bucks, link's gonna be in the description, and just play around with them. And then if you're like, wow, you know, I really love macro photography, you can buy a macro lens. But like I said, $1,300, $20, it's a big difference. So if I can get the results that I'm looking for out of these guys, especially when I'm inside, it's a controlled environment, I'm not doing a lot of bugs or insects or moving animals, parts, you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to put this short video together for you guys to show you a little bit because I just found out about these extension tubes maybe a week ago, and I was like, that's so badass, because I was gonna spend the money and buy an actual macro lens, and I'm glad I didn't because I will use the hell out of these. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that other junk. Hit the notification bell if you are subscribed so you are updated every time that I upload a video. I will see you guys in the next one. I love you.